Hi, this is Rachel Jones with Self-Care Aware. Thanks for watching my channel. So today's video is about self-care and asking the question, is self-care selfish? We're going to try to break this down because I'm afraid that people who are in the helping professions don't engage in self-care because deep down inside they feel like that's a selfish thing to do. And because by nature they are compassionate people, they are sacrificial, sometimes they are willing to put other people's needs ahead of their own. They care deeply about the experiences that other people have, and taking care of themselves and meeting their own needs always falls on the back burner. And the idea that they should take care of themselves makes them feel like they're betraying the people that they serve, or they're being selfish. A lot of times there's an either-or mentality. Either I'm giving everything I can to this person to help them, or I'm being selfish because I'm taking care of myself. So I want to help people move from either or to both and. Because it is both that person is suffering and I want to be able to help them, and I have the right to take care of myself and I deserve that. It can be both the work that I do is meaningful and it's exhausting, but I know that these people need me and they need my support, so I will give it to them. And in order to give them support, I'm going to take care of myself. I deserve that. So both and, because both can exist, they do exist. When you've developed a lifestyle of self-care, you can have a very fulfilling career, be very effective with the people that you serve, and be healthy. Take care of yourself. Develop habits that you do every day to prevent illness, to respond to illness, and to recover from illness. It's possible. Let's break down some definitions. Selfish means that you are pursuing an interest that benefits you without regard for other people. Self-serving, self-absorbed, self-obsessed, self-seeking. These are some of the words that are often lumped in together with the definition of selfish. You can look it up. And each of those definitions have one thing in common. It is that is a selfish act without regard for other people, losing compassion toward others in order to just look out for number one. Self-care, on the other hand, the definition from Merriam-Webster Dictionary is to care for oneself without medical or professional intervention. That's the definition of self-care. It talks about health and a person doing it without a professional assisting them. Notice it said nothing about them losing compassion for others or a disregard for other people. It had nothing to do with that. It had to do with health. It had to do with wellness. And it had to do with a person initiating that on their own or continuing that on their own without intervention from professionals who are assisting them with it. So I wanted to break down those two definitions because when people hear the word self in front of another word, they kind of freak out and they start to think it's a self-serving, self-obsessed, self-absorbed, self-centered. But there are other words: self-care, self-sacrificing, self-aware. Those aren't bad. Those aren't taking advantage of other people so that one can meet their own goal. Most people who drive cars know that they have to put gas in their car in order for their car to drive. And they learn that as part of vehicle maintenance. They learn to pay attention to their gas gauge, to pull over and fill up before the light comes on, but definitely by the time that the light comes on. And they understand the general concept that if I don't put gas in my car, then I cannot finish the trip. I can't finish the job. I cannot get to where I'm trying to go. Knowing that, we would never tell somebody who stops at a gas station that they're being selfish for fueling up gas in their car. That concept sounds ridiculous, actually. Right? And actually, if they don't fill up the gas in their car, and they end up being one of those drivers that's stranded on the side of the road, they have to ask for additional help. It can be kind of embarrassing, definitely frustrating, and they may get a little bit of critique from whoever decided to help them. People are kind of like, didn't you know that your tank was almost on empty? Didn't you see that gas light come on and tell you that you had 1 mile until you were running out of gas? Right? We kind of say, you should be more responsible. You know how to take care of a vehicle. You know that you need to put gas in the car to make the car drive. And that's not considered selfish. That's considered smart. That's considered somebody who is a good driver, a good planner. They stop periodically to fuel up their car so that they can get to where they're supposed to be. And in fact, the really good drivers, they don't wait until the tank is on E and then go to the gas station. They fill up when it's like a 3/4 tank or something. They're really well prepared. They are so in tune with their car. They're so in tune with when they're about to run out of gas that they prevent that altogether by filling up early, right? Okay, so I use that analogy because that's what self-care is. Self-care is fueling at the gas station so that you can continue the trip. And in this case, the trip is the work that you do. It's being present for people. It's addressing that next trauma and that next crisis situation and that next wicked problem that nobody can really figure out and you're the go-to person. You've got to have fuel to do that and do it well. So, if you develop a lifestyle of self-care, which is, in essence, fueling up your tank, and you're so in tune with your habits and your symptoms and the warning signs that you're starting to feel fatigued, you're starting to get stressed out, the work is starting to traumatize you, then you can implement self-care and fill up your tank when it's 3/4 full instead of when it's on E. And that's not selfish, that's responsible.